Morning. How y'all doing today? Well, my name's Tom, and I'm just a rambling Christian. If this is the first time you've been here, please stick around. We look at things a little different around here. Typically, I like to ramble before I get started. So, Satan and Jesus were standing on the mountain. Now, you're the mountain, okay? Satan looks out over the world, and he says, I can give you all of this. That means Satan owns it, right? Jesus declined that kingdom on the mountain. Now, the kingdom is this book. This book here, and I spoke of it, every level that I have seen a little deeper, there's a reward. And I was awake before I got here in my last life. So, and I speak of it, that those who came to Babylon came with me. Truth. I was the dude healed at the pool of Bathsheba. My wife, the woman at the well. The water in the well were the people that came with us. The spirits that came with us. This is true. It's covered in Scripture too. And this is available. This happens to everybody. You create aeons. I've covered it. Your convictions create your afterlife. Christians feel they're going to stand in front of the Lord of this world and receive their judgment. True, they get to come back and be called and separated. There's requirements to move on. It's not an option. It's set in stone. This stone, you can't deceive yourself. So you're your own judge. Truth is in the Spirit, and if you're not listening to the Spirit, you have no truth. If you're listening to this book, you seek a kingdom on earth. Earth is not the destination, location that we're seeking. We were to pass through here and not say anything. Just move on. Okay, we weren't supposed to be calling these people out for doing whatever they want. This is the land of the dead. They're dead. They're just moving around, being led around, seeking, hopefully, the way out. Spirits don't die. So we have an eternity to seek the way out. The flesh is renewed all the time. It's truly covered and more than just the Bible. I spoke of it a few videos back, the Book of the Dead. Let me read this little excerpt. It's from the American Research Center in Egypt. Okay? It says, the god Osiris associated with resurrection and Ra associated with the sun, star in the Book of Dead. 42 additional gods appear to judge and test the newly departed. Although the text itself varies in content and order, the narrative is generally divided into 4 main sections. The deceased enters the underworld and regains the physical abilities of the living. You're in the underworld, you regain the physical abilities of the living. Okay? Now, the deceased is resurrected and joins Ra to rise as the sun each day. I tell you, the sun is going down. The sun will rise in 2030 again. Now, This here is what we speak of here. Rise in the east, set in the west. You still have a trip from the west to the east. But it says right here that rise with the sun each day. The deceased travels across the sky before judgment. Heaven. This is heaven, the whole place. It's heaven on earth. This is in the sky, space. But anyway, it says underworld and then across the sky before judgment in the underworld. You're judged right here, right now. The judgment is the flesh that you have on you, and it is your judge. I say that flesh is in charge here. You should be listening to your heart. That's not an option. That's how you get judged. It comes right out your mouth, and the flesh hears it, knows truth, not you. So, and it says here, travels against before judgment in the underworld by a panel of gods, and finally, assuming the soul hasn't been destroyed, assuming, I tell you, the two must become one, and if you're not, one will be taken from you. The two should produce a son. There's three of you here, so you should all be one, become the son on the way out. It says, assuming the soul hasn't been destroyed, the deceased joins the gods. Now, this is hard to believe, but I am the Lord over the ones in Babylon. I was given that task. I am Lord over the nations. That's what it says. That means all those spirits that my wife brought are under my charge. True. And I tell you, it's a trap. It's a trap. I fell for it. That's why I'm here again. Duh. But anyway, see, that's that condemning of people, thinking because God chose me that, I got a big head. No. I still wonder today, right here, right now, why he chose me. Because there's many, I feel that, but I don't, I can only see on the outside, so I don't know. I still don't. Nobody listens, and I'm not a very good talker, I'm fine. So, and so that gives you a big head. See, you can get carried away with this garbage. And I wish to judge no man. I wish for no kingdoms. I do recognize the judgments that have already been happened because I went through them. Me, yeah. So, I tell you, it's a multi-life journey and the Spirit leads you in a time. There is a time for all things, and we'll discuss that today. But it says here, to progress through the complex challenges in these stages, the dead must speak the right names. Jeremiah, Hananiah, I tell you, David, Paul, Saul, all these people, Nebuchadnezzar, must speak the right names at the right time. This is the time right now at the end of the day, okay? And it says, and the spells at the right time, and respond with the right answers to the God's questions. You want another kingdom? You want to judge somebody else? You want to do this? You want to do that? Come on, let's do it. You say no. Okay? This is all placed before you right here in this book of the dead, this book of knowledge. Okay? All this is contained within this book. And this one too. I've been reading. It's same stuff, just broken in. They name the gods here, but they name the gods in, we're going to continue on with that teachings of the Savior. eventually. But in there it speaks of the names of the gods, Barbelo, Yabaldal, all this kind of stuff. In here, they use these names, Osiris, Ra, blah, blah, blah. In here, the Lord of Hosts, Adam, Cain, Abel, uh, Eve, things like that. Osiris is Eve, okay? She's the God of resurrection. That's the flesh, Eve. Okay, she's the one who lets you back in. Don't forget that. So it's all the same. Just the names have been changed to protect the innocent. But that's now it says here, to progress through the complex challenges, I told you about the speaking. Okay, to question. In one interesting and curious case, the deceased must name various parts of a sentient doorway before passing. Luckily, the Book of the Dead conveniently holds all the required information. Yes, it does. The sentient doorway. Does Jesus not say, I am the door? Same book. Same exact book. Okay? The serpent is the one who rules this land. This is his land. Greek mythology, he is the giant serpent that surrounds the earth. Thor went against him in Norse mythology. Then you have Apep, the serpent of Egypt. And then you have the great serpents of all the kingdoms that have come up throughout land, Mayans, Incans, and things like this that knew truth through more manipulation of the gods. The ruler of this world, let's just call him a dude. He does control this land. It is the land of the dead. And that's why you have the Book of the Dead in the land of the dead. And you have this Book of the Dead in the land of the dead. This book exists nowhere else, just here. There's rules here. This is a way to filter those who go to the eternal realm. I speak of it. It is a filter. No evil will ever leave. We don't believe it. And we're going to look at Ecclesiastes, and we're going to start from 1, and I'm going to do the whole thing over the next couple days. And this is the words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. I am not the preacher. I am the teacher. But this I reckon was written by Solomon. Now, the Key of Solomon is a book of magical spells used to ensnare spirits and things like this, and to take from spirits what is theirs. And there's a defense against that within Scripture here, and that is truth. But you have to believe the book. You have to believe this is truly the land of the dead. And it is. Jesus said so. Let the dead bury the dead. This was not in reference to the spiritual walk in which they were in. This is in reference to their dead. Everybody here was dead. He was casting spirits around. It was, all this kind of stuff. You see, Jesus didn't come to you in a land of wherever you came from. Nobody came from this realm. All here. At one time, it was just one people. But as they conquer more realms, when the dead die, they come here because they kill without mercy and none survive. When none survive, you get bad and good at the same time. No getting into the eternal realm unless you recognize a spiritualness within yourself. And then you hold yourself to a standard above others anyway, because you're not going to be treating people like garbage and walking all over them if you believe we're all spiritual beings together. It's just, Jesus gave us the easiest way. Have no other God before him and love your neighbor as one of your own. And spiritualness gives you that. You start to awake to that. And then a love of your fellow man and mercy. And you forgive naturally the sins of others because we're all in a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? It's a learning curve. Some are a little slower than others, and some, it's not really a curve. It's kind of like that. It slides quick. But that's the design. These guys have had their opportunities. And I've been here for 2 days. 2,000 years. I've been here since Jesus. Just saying, and it's covered here in Ecclesiastes. But when we die and we create a place of our heaven, our eternal realm, so many here don't understand, even without claiming it. So many claim reincarnation as their religion. Christians claim reincarnation as their religion. They die, they get new flesh, a new earth, in a new name. That's reincarnation. You can't say it any other way. Ask a Buddhist to describe it to you. You say, well, you die, you come back in a new body, it's a different time, and you have a new name. The one your parents give you versus the one you died with. That's just it. And all things are put in front of us for a reason. And we don't seek that. It says here, vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanities of vanities. All is vanity. This is true. What profit has a man from all his labor, in which he toils under the sun? One generation passes away, and another generation comes. I tell you that. Swapping generations. But the earth abides forever. The sun also rises, and the sun goes down, and hastens to the place where it arose. The wind goes towards the south, and turns towards the north. The wind whirls about continually. We talk about the winds here many times. And comes again on its circuit. These are those 4 living creatures guiding the paths. And this is all repetitive. I've said that from the get-go. It says this book repeats. And it says, and there's one of them to prove it, that it's repetitive. It's been here that long. Well, longer, because you can go back even further before writing and get it off cave walls. Okay? And so there is proof that it's been here the entire time. You can not deny that if you look at it with truth. This book has been here since this world and this place has been created. It says, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. To a place from which the rivers come, there they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot express it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. You see that? That's not satisfied with seeing is you're not even believing this. You're not listening to the words. You're letting your heart, you're letting your mind deceive your heart. How's that? Because that's not what it says. Like I say it many times, if you're called to this, we're the bad guy. That's it. There is no other. And that's what we got to fix, because we're taking people to this place every time. That's what you're convincing people of, to come back to hell every time. Sheol, not hell. Now, it says, that which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done. We just swap. We just swap. Like I say, Paul's next. Sorry. Paul's next. This is my last time. And there is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which it may be said, see, this is new? It has already been in ancient times before us. That's planes, trains, space travel, everything. Okay? Has been before you. You are the least. You have dropped in evolution. Truly. In intelligence, especially. You were with the people that left with the first destruction of it all. You just fallen angel. Anyway, there is no remembrance of former things. The new flesh, the rebirth washes you clean. You have no memory of who you were at all. Nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to come. You've been through this before. I tell you that. I've been through it before too. Now, but those, and it says, nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to come by those who will come after. See, it's just, I will raise you in the last day. It's the same day for everybody. Every generation gets this. Gets this 2 days. One is a Jew, one is a Christian. The 2 days you get to eat of the sacrifice. Okay? You don't get to eat the sacrifice on day 3. It's an abomination. So, it says, I, the preacher, was king over Israel. It says, I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is the spiritual, right? The spiritual house of Israel, I guess. And I set my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all that is done under heaven. This burdensome task God has given to the Son of Man, by which they may be exercised. Circumcise that heart. Exorcism. We are to possess the land. That means you're a spirit. You're possessed right in here. Okay? And these are the words to exercise them within this book. And he's seeking them out. Hold on just a second here. Now, I tell you, what really started my depth of study was it says that the whole world will be deceived. Now, the way I grew up, one thing I despise is a lie. In my house, where I grew up, It was, a lie was like the worst thing that you could ever do. You could get out of trouble in my house by telling the truth. Truly. If you spoke truth, uh, now I'm not saying there would be no punishment, but the punishment would be lessened. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be as severe as if I was lying about it. And I grew up with a liar, and I just really despise somebody trying to get one over on me. Because, well, I mean, everybody should hate a lie. I mean, it's just, and I learned long ago that lies are hard to remember. Because if you tell lies to one person, you're probably telling a different lie to somebody else. And you have to remember each one of those lies. Wow. Accept responsibility. It's okay. You know. But right here, has given to the Son of Man, by which they may be exorcised. They may be. This book to get them out. Okay? And it says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and grasping for the wind. That's what I speak. You know, the path is wide out there. You know, they're good. They're just going to come back and back and back. Everybody's good, except for those called. Uh, that's where the evil gets. And these people out here, yeah, this might be their first time evil, for all I know. They haven't received judgment yet. If you have not been called, you have not been judged. Oh, you know what I'm saying? What did it say? A little at a time. You know, put them through. Now it says, what is crooked cannot be made straight. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking cannot be numbered. Wow. I consumed with my heart, saying, look, I have attained greatness, and have gained more wisdom than all who were before me in Jerusalem. My heart has understood great wisdom and knowledge, and I set my heart to know wisdom, to know madness and folly. I perceived that this is also grasping at the wind. What does it profit a man? You know, he already said it over here. What does it profit a man? Is what he's seeking. Verify all things. Paul says all things are legal, but what does it profit a man? I don't know. Let me go and check. You know what I'm saying? Verify all things. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. This is truth. I tell you that. I tell you, it does increase sorrow. But the truth is not comforting. That's the wisdom of that. Truth isn't comforting. It's not supposed to be. If truth is comforting, you don't have it. It's just that easy. It says, now this is chapter 2. Let me see. We're doing good. I said in my heart, come now, I will test you with mirth. Therefore, enjoy pleasure. But surely this is also vanity. See, I will test you with mirth. Now, this is him testing the people. And we talk about it in Deuteronomy 8, where it's put here as a test for each and every one of us. Okay? It says, I said of laughter, madness, of mirth, what does it accomplish? You can't. You can only conquer evil with love. You know, you can't. This is why we're told to forgive our enemies and pray for our enemies. This is to train our heart to love even them. You know what I'm saying? You can't win an argument by yelling louder. That doesn't win an argument. It truly doesn't. I've been in a lot of arguments, and I've yelled a lot, and it doesn't work. It truly doesn't. The louder you get, the less you hear. It just seems like that. You know, the louder you speak, the less your ears hear. And when the volume comes up here, the volume goes down here. It's, you know, it says, I searched in my heart how to gratify my flesh with wine. Jesus was the wine. Why? Guarding my heart with wisdom. Listening to that heart. Jesus is telling you only those who do the will of the Father in heaven will ever see heaven. He doesn't call the righteous. So if you've been called, you're not righteous. And righteous is not sin-free. Why do people think that? I don't even get that. You cannot be sin-free. It says that. It's not possible. That's why it's not a requirement to be sin-free. You were born that way. No sins of the flesh will ever be held against you if you get to the Father, because it brought you to the Father. So no sins of the flesh will ever be judged here. Sins of the Spirit. You're a spiritual being. That's where your sin come from, not the flesh. And it says, with wisdom, and how to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good for the sons of men to do under heaven all the days of their lives. For all of them. I made my works great. I built myself houses. This is the new earth. You know, I built it. He built an aeon. The aeon that you'll build on the way out. Well, some will. And you really have to control yourself on that. You really do. You don't want to be a fleshly realm. You don't want to be flesh of any kind, ever. And when you go to the eternal realm, you don't make a realm because there's already one there. Seeking to create your own aeon is a kingdom in heaven or on earth, depending if it's flesh or... You see that? It's a double whammy here. I came by way of the Spirit. People were with me. That's weird. But and people were with him. He's trying to figure out, how does he get these people? How do you get good grapes out of sour ones? Because they are sour. Expected good grapes, got sour ones instead. That's all of us that come. The 12 in the zodiac. 12 stones in the river, 12 stones on dry land. The zodiacs work in pairs. Okay. A Libra is conceived in Aries. A Leo is conceived in Libra. Now, you know what I'm saying? So that's their two that they are. And you can become either one of those. Either the spiritual side of that or the fleshly side of that. And we don't look at ourselves like that. To Christians, the zodiac is, well, horoscopes and all that. I don't know, man. I don't seek all that kind of garbage. But I seek the wisdom in... Nobody looks up at the night sky and goes, man, them stars look like Aries. Man, that stars look like Libra. Oh, man, that's the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. But they're not the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. They're Orion. They're, and stuff like this. Big Dipper, Little Dipper is kind of a stupid little thing. The stars were named after gods for a reason. You don't put these together and call it Orion's belt and all these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? When you were a child looking at the night sky, if somebody would have not told you that that's the Big and Little Dipper, that's not what you'd be seeing. You'd just be seeing a bunch of lights in the sky. You wouldn't be saying that looks like a dude, that looks like a horse, that looks like a man, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't, I don't see how you get a dude out of a lion and things like that. It's just, why did they choose these things? Why? It's a created realm. All things are put in front of us for a reason. The 12 zodiacs, there's 12 tribes. There's, we don't look at it like anything like that. It says multiple gods. In here, there's multiple gods. They're replaced by each generation. Solomon was replaced. And then, it just keeps getting moved around. You stick with your generation until you can go. When your time's out, and it's up for them. And that's sad. That's sad. Now it says, I made myself gardens and orchards, and I planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. See, you can eat of any tree, but this one. And I made myself water pools from which to water the growing trees of the grove. I acquired male and female servants, Adam and Eve, and had servants born in my house. They're just producing more. Yes, I had greater possessions of herds and flocks than all who were in Jerusalem before me. See, I also gathered for myself silver and gold, and the special treasures of kings and of providences. These are the spirits that are inside. Okay? Wow. I acquired male and female singers. That's the delights of the Son of Men, and musical instruments of all kinds. So I became great and excelled more than all who were before me in Jerusalem. Also, my wisdom remained with me. His wisdom remained with him. See, this is the fruit that the fruit that you produce, you take. Good fruit, bad fruit, you'll be known by your fruit. Whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I tell you, I was the only one who could tell myself no. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my reward for my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had done, and all the labor in which I had toiled, and indeed all was vanity and grasping for the wind. There was no profit under the sun. Truth. There's no profit here. The only profit is getting home. There's nothing here I want. I'm not trying to gather up more money so I can enhance the system. No, there's nothing here I want. There is no profit to a man here. Man is the spirit, not the flesh. There is no profit. It says that. Then I turned myself to consider wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do who succeeds the king? What can a man do who succeeds the king? I don't want a kingdom. I don't want it. Don't. I do not plan on creating an aeon of my own. I just want to go home. That's it. You can do whatever you want, wherever you want. You truly can. This book restricts that from some because they're evil. They would be evil lords of worlds. Evil. And then it says, only what he has already done. Done it before. All y'all create aeons, an aeon, and aeons, and aeons. Many worlds they conquer. Many peoples here. And that's why you can't get along. You're not even from the same planet. Well, the same realm. Let's not use the word planet. Same realms. It says, then I saw that wisdom excels folly, as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, But the fool walks in darkness. Yet I myself perceived that the same event happens to them all. So I said in my heart, as it happens to the fool, it also happens to me. Truth. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, this is also vanity. True, because it wasn't me who woke me up. Like I said, you're guided by the Spirit. All things are in time. You say, oh, I woke up because I did this or I did that. And, I tell you, I came by way of the law. I was not. If I wouldn't have been called and led to follow the law, I would have never done it. I didn't do it of my own. I did it of my own free will with guidance. You know what I'm saying? But I had come to a point in my life where I realized that nothing profits a man. And I speak of that. There is no profit here. That was bad. It was either the Father or something else. My life was shit. Truly. For there is no more remembrance of the wise man than of the fool forever. Since all that now is will be forgotten in the days to come. And how does a wise man die? As the fool. True. So it says, therefore I hated life, because the work that was done under the sun was distressing to me, for all is vanity and grasping for the wind. Then I hated all my labor in which I had toiled under the sun, because I must leave it to the man who will come after me. Don't seek a kingdom. If you're seeking a kingdom here, this is the kingdom you're gonna get eventually. So many. It says in here that he'll select some as priests and Levites throughout his congregation. These will be the ones that'll be the spirits over. Like I say, I can hear the spirit in the music and things like this. These are people that have died and their spirits are over those. Truly. And you can hear the same spirit out of more than one person, like church. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they have denominations is like spirits gather together. You got some who want to judge people for having long sleeves. You got some who want to judge for having beards. You want to, some that are judge it just for, even the dude standing next to him, Church of Christ, and stuff like this. That, this is where you're going to be. You're going to be one of those. And then you're locked in to that. And we've covered it, that judgments are forever. It just comes again and again. You get thrown out with no memory. And then at the time in which the Lord chooses, you wake up. That's the way it is. You'll be woken up at your time. But some leave without ever, I speak of it. Hananiah has woke up, and then he's got a few others with him that have only woken up to the Lord of this world. They've stopped at that reward. They don't even read the Bible. They're led by their heart. And I've discussed this until you've pulled out your own plane, because we are called to the book. We're not called to some invisible thing. We're called to the book. It fixes us, truly, if we believe it. We're not called to church. We're called to the book. It's what fixes us. I can't say it enough. It's what fixes us. And gives us the ability to exercise, that out of us. And like I say, I've got many spirits at my feet. And it's all through the power of my Father. He's the only one who gives us that strength, that ability. Your brother doesn't give you that. He died. He's dead. You look for him and can't find him. That's what it says. Because he's dead. Yeah, dead. Not resurrected. He's resurrected through your message. Not. That's the power of God. You are gods and sons of God. You keep him alive. You see sin everywhere. He is not. You're supposed to let him die. That's why he comes back as the bad guy. It says that in here. You won't let him die. And that's not good. It's taking him off. He's paid his due. Like I say, I am nobody's savior. And Paul speaks of this too. When he says, when you say you're a barbarous, or you come by way of Paul, or you come by way of this dude or that dude, that's a conviction, and you're soaking yourself in. This is why you don't covet anything of your neighbors. You see, you're coveting them spirits of theirs. You're gathering that to yourself and locking yourself into this forever. Ew. I accept no kingdoms. None. That's the trap. We desire not to be here. And if we desire the Father's will, then we just join the Father's kingdom. We don't go to the Father's kingdom to make our own. That's Jesus. Takes you to his table and his kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So that should be telling us. It says, I must leave it to the man who comes after me. And who knows whether he will be wise or a fool, yet he will rule over all my labor, in which I toiled, in which I have shown myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. All is led by the Father. But if you think of anything else, it is vain. Like I say, I am not in charge. Not in any way, shape, or form. Yes, you came with me, but everything was done by the Spirit of us all. For our good, to get us out of here. I mentioned this before. My wife asked me, even just yesterday, why I won't pray. Because and here at the end, I say, may the Holy Spirit guide you. May the Father, protect your soul. This is something that I don't do typically. I pray for the Father's will. And the Father's will is to protect your soul. So to me, it's the same thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not required to tell a crackhead that he's wrong. I'm required to give a crackhead a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Put some clothes on his back. Tell him the Lord loves him. And let him move on. I'm not supposed to tell him that he's doing wrong. It just pisses people off. No, you come in love, mercy, and understanding. You hand him a sandwich. You tell him his father misses him so much. And then you move on. No, he's going to hell if he doesn't believe. None of that garbage. Because that's not what it says. We plant seeds. What seed should you plant? first and foremost, your Father loves you. He has always loved you. He misses you. He wants you back. Come home. That's it. That's all you need to hear. Let that work on them. You don't tell them, oh man, if you don't believe the way I do, you're going to hell. No. Therefore I turned my heart and despaired of all the labor in which I had toiled under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet he must leave his heritage to a man who has not labored for it. This also is vanity and a great evil. And a great evil. It truly is. You should not desire to replace these deeds. For what has man for all his labor and for all the striving of his heart with which he has toiled under the sun? For all his days are sorrowful, and all his work burdensome. Even in the night his heart takes no rest. This also is vanity. I mention it. God did not want to give us a king. He wanted to be able to just lead his people all by himself. No interference from us, because we don't know. We cannot grasp the meaning. We can say it is eternity, forever. But you can't grasp that at all. Like $1 million, if you was to break it down into days, $1 million is like 11 days. $1 billion is 31 years. 1 million is 11 days. 1 billion is 31 years. That's the difference between today and an eternity. You know what I'm saying? You just can't grasp the difference in the space within that. And I don't have to. I'm not in charge. He wanted to be. I just got sent back with you. All have to come through here. All have to come through the land of the dead to go home. The land of Sheol. It says, nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. That this also I saw was from the hand of God. See, he gave us all this to enjoy. And Christians shun it all. They just condemn it without trying. God's work, they condemn without knowledge. They have wisdom and no knowledge. The single hoof. For who can eat, or who can have enjoyment more than I? For God gives wisdom and knowledge and joy to a man who is good in his sight. But to the sinner he gives the work of gathering and collecting, that he may give to him who is good before God. This also is vanity and grasping for the wind. They're not saved. Everything they do works against them getting out of here. Every single thing they do. This right here, they're the sinners, and they're told to be, they're told to preach the law of liberty. I told you that discussed it, that you made an agreement to get here. They don't talk about the agreement here in Ecclesiastes, saying you made it. But we'll get to it. I'm working my way up to the agreement. It's just a short little agreement covered in Jeremiah 34. But for the ones that came with me. And if the dude y'all came with didn't wake up, you're screwed. Because I see none preaching my message. None speaking as I do. And in Scripture, in the Bible here, it tells us that when Benjamin is born, Rachel dies. This speaks of the destruction that I bring, because I am Benjamin. Jeremiah is from Benjamin. I am Benjamin. So, when I die at my birth, Rachel goes with me. She dies also. That's the generation that I come with. This is just what it says in here. I woke up. The first to rise in death is always the Lord of the world, Lord of this world. That's what it says within Scripture, and I covered it. I am the first to wake up, to rise in death here, born again, both in spirit and flesh. See, all this stuff, yeah, that sounds like a big head, but no, it's a trap. I keep telling you, it's a trap. This is available to all. I've said it from the beginning. Everything that I have, I willingly and happily give it to you. Truly, I do. You can have it. This is not what you want. This is, like I say, this is Satan offering Christ the kingdom so he can go home. See, if you take it, he leaves. You know what I'm saying? He gets to fade off. He gets to go into rest. No rest, day or night. You know what I'm saying? This speaks of a lot. It says, time. I'm right at an hour. I'm pretty close. But 3. I just want to cover a little bit in 3 because it kind of closes off this a little bit before I go in. I'm going to just hit it a little bit. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. This is such a deep truth that Christians deny. They feel their will influences what happens. They feel they have judgment. They feel they have righteousness. And this is all self-claimed. It says in Isaiah 66, 15, I believe, somewhere in there, those who sanctify themselves in order to enter the garden. That's Christianity. The entire lot of it. Okay? Truth. This is the mindset that it should have never been a religion at all. He was a sacrifice. We don't still talk of the animals killed for the Mayans and the Incans. Why do we still talk about the animal, the man that died as a sacrifice? We don't talk about any other sacrifices except for that lamb. It's just an animal, a lamb, flesh. Died in the flesh. Spirits don't die, I tell you. So, you dead. The blood washed clean. Everybody. It says a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. Jesus said there'll be a time when you will blessed is he who does not bear children, right? Something like that. But anyway, a time to gain, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to throw away, a time to tear, a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak. a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time of peace. What profit has the worker from that which he labors? I have seen the God-given task of which the sons of men are to be occupied. Preach the law of liberty. That's the agreement you made, but it's long-winded in 34. But it says he has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. You see, that's that, forever, new flesh. You got that eternity thing going. Do you want to go home, or do you want to stay here for more of this fun and enjoyment? This is like Disneyland on steroids. Right? But anyway, yeah, roid rage. But anyway, also has put eternity in their hearts. This is, you have an eternity, but this book tells you eternity in the flesh, not eternity in the spirit. You're not listening to your heart. You call it deceitful. He put eternity in their hearts, but that's both ways: eternity in the flesh, eternity in the spirit. It's a two-edged sword, right? I know that nothing is better than them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives. It's not hard. Nothing is better than to rejoice and do good. Nothing is better than to rejoice and do good. That's it. No condemning anybody. He doesn't say you tell people they go to hell or nothing. It says, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labors. It is the gift of God. I know that whatever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing taken from it. God does it that men should fear before him. that which is has already been, and what is to be has already been, and God requires an account of what is past. Remember your first love. You see, this right here, everything has already happened. Everything's going to happen again and again and again. But listen to this. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing can be taken away from it. Luke 10:2 or 3. Those who enter by the back door. Woe to those who try to enter by the back door. Nothing can be added to the Old Testament. The New Testament is set on the back side of the Old Testament, the back door. You're not allowed to use that to get in. You have to stand before the Father on your own. Jesus cannot stand for you. He's dead. You are the one trying to get out. He's gone. You're the one who won't let him die. Yeah, he's dead and gone. Abel, right? He's dead. Gone. Spiritual. Cain is the one who's alive. Cain will return. Take vengeance for his brother. But anyway, it says, moreover, I saw under the sun in the place of judgment, wickedness was there. That's the place of judgment. Out there in the world, they have not been judged. And in the place of righteousness, inequity was there. Church. Okay? I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. See? Maybe that dude's evil, but like I said, I don't know if God had him kill somebody, just like Judas is righteous because Jesus had to die. So, I don't know what they're doing. That's what it says that in here. What man could grasp that? I don't know. That's why I only can pray for the Father as well, because I don't know. By saying I know where that guy's going, you can judge those inside, like Paul said, because they've been called, they've been judged. They haven't been. And if he would judge them all at once, the beasts of the field, that's them, the servants, would destroy the world too soon. It wouldn't happen in God's time. So he restrains them under a law they deny. And I said in my heart concerning the condition of the sons of men, God tests them that they may see that they themselves are like animals. You just want to kill everybody. And that's animalistic. You have not grown at all. You got called because you were that same dude you are today. For what happens to the sons of men also happens to the animals. See that? The two. One thing befalls them. One thing befalls them. As one dies, so dies the other. Surely they all have one breath. Man has no advantage over the animals, for all is vanity. The two must become one. You can't be separate. The Spirit is pure, and you're not going towards the Spirit. The Spirit has love, not hate. Now it says, all go to one place. All are from the dust, and all return to dust. Who knows the spirit of the sons of men, which goes upward, and the spirit of the animals, which goes down to the earth? Your mother. So I perceive that nothing is better than that a man should rejoice in his own work, for that is his heritage. See, that's a fancy word for saying all them spirits that are attached to your butt. Okay? You don't want that heritage. I don't want that heritage. That's from the Lord of this world. That's seeking more than what the Father has given me. I am satisfied with what I have. I've said it before when I saw and I started denying kingdoms. I don't want a kingdom on earth and all this. I don't want a kingdom such as Jesus has. I'd be happy with a shack. I truly, and I am happy with a shack on my own little piece of land, just happy. Couldn't be any happier. I'm blessed above all others. I know that. And that's not because I have more than you. That's because I'm satisfied with what I have. If you are satisfied, you are blessed. That's a blessing to be satisfied. It's evil. It's not to be. So, for who can bring him to see what will happen after him? Ecclesiastes 4 is next. I'm going to hold off here, and we'll hit that tomorrow. But so few would believe that that's your destination.